Welcome. This video will provide you with information about the process of approval of your Canadian Express Entry application. If the agency approves your application for Express Entry, you will receive a mail containing your COPR or confirmation of permanent residence. It contains personal identity information along with your photograph. Your PR visa for permanent residence. This is only if you belong to a country that requires a visa. Let's understand this using the following situations. In Situation 1, you are already in Canada. The agency will connect with you to inform you regarding further steps. You will need to attend a short interview conducted by an officer. There could be two possible options. The best option is to book an appointment at one of the agency's Canadian offices. Visit a Canadian port of entry, which involves border crossing, and show the following. Proof indicating you possess funds to support yourself along with your entire family. Your COPR and PR visa, only if you receive them from the agency. While the interview is taking place, the officer has the authority to verify the validity of all your documents submitted. Inquire you a bit to evaluate whether you still satisfy the terms and conditions in order to immigrate to Canada. Verify your Canadian mailing address in order to send in your PR card. In Situation 2, you are outside of Canada. These are a few things you can begin doing to start preparing for living in Canada. Make use of the free pre-arrival services which assist with getting more information about living and working in the country. Start taking measures to receive recognition in Canada for the following. Your educational qualifications. Any professional licenses and/or certificates you possess. Gain knowledge about living and getting work opportunities in Canada. Upon your arrival in Canada, it's mandatory to use ArriveCan before you check in at the airport or before you cross the border and submit the following. Your quarantine plan. Travel and contact details. Self-assessment of any COVID-19 symptoms. You will be required to display your ArriveCan receipt on arrival, either in electronic or paper format, to the Border Services Officer. You also need to possess the following upon your arrival. A valid passport and/or any other travel documents. Your passport should be a regular, private citizen passport. Having a diplomatic, government service, or public affairs passport makes it impossible to immigrate to Canada. Your COPR and PR visa, only if you receive them through the agency. Proof indicating you possess funds to support yourself along with your entire family post your arrival in Canada. Upon arriving in Canada, you will connect with an officer from the CBSA, that is, the Canadian Border Services Agency, and he or she will cross-check that you're entering Canada before or on the exact expiry date mentioned on your COPR. Recheck your personal identity as being approved to travel to Canada. For this, he or she could use biometrics as a parameter. Inquire you for your passport and other travel documents. Ask you some questions to verify that you still satisfy the terms and conditions to immigrate to the country. These questions will be quite similar to the ones you had to face during your application. You shall not be allowed into Canada if you submitted false or incomplete information, failed to convince the CBSA officer that you meet the requirements to immigrate to Canada. If you pass this process and are deemed admissible, the officer will permit your entry into Canada as a permanent resident. Confirm your Canadian mailing address at which you shall be mailed the PR card. You shall be fined and the funds you possess shall be seized if you fail to inform the CBSA officer that you're in possession of funds more than 10,000 Canadian dollars upon arrival into Canada. It's advisable to verify what can and cannot be brought into the Canadian country by cross-checking on the CBSA website before traveling. After you have successfully arrived in Canada, you must search for Canadian Immigrant Services in the country, who will assist you with settling and adjusting to life in Canada. Go through the Welcome to Canada guidebook to be able to adapt better. Make use of the Living in Canada tool to avail of the appropriate services. Here are some pointers you must keep in mind. Always make sure your information about personal details is accurate. This should be exactly the same as the information displayed on your passport. In case there happens to be a mistake, you may contact the agency via your account. Your COPR cannot be extended. Therefore, it's advisable to use it before it gets expired. You may make use of the web or online form to inform of a change in address that has happened within 180 days of receiving an application status update. In order to quickly proceed with your entry to Canada, it's advisable to keep your passports and related documents handy at all times. Avoid packing them back into your luggage. As we've come to end of our session, let's summarize everything we covered until now. We discussed about what you may receive in the mail after approval of your application, and we saw two different situations of you being inside and outside of Canada. We saw what must be done upon your arrival in Canada, things you must possess, and dealing with the CBSA officer. We also noted reasons for not being allowed into Canada, and what happens when you're labeled as admissible. Lastly, we discussed fund disclosures, things allowed to be brought into Canada, and suggestions to follow post your arrival in Canada. We hope you now have a clearer understanding of the process for getting approval of your express entry application. If you need help in this process or need your queries answered, kindly contact us through our website or send us your CV by email. We look forward to assisting you in every way possible in your express entry application process.